Today we're comparing two Bose Bluetooth speakers. Both solid options, but each plays a different role in the current Bose portable lineup. In one corner, the newer and noticeably more expensive SoundLink Plus, clocking in at an eye-watering $269. And in the other corner, a reliable fan favorite, the SoundLink Flex 2nd Gen, at a much more wallet-friendly $149. So which one's right for you? And is the Plus really worth that extra $120? Let's find out. Kicking things off with design, both of these speakers stick to Bose's clean yet rugged build. They're wrapped in a grippy, rubberized silicone with a metal grille, and they're both IP67 rated, so dust and water aren't a problem. Whether you're headed to the beach, out camping, or just chilling by the pool, either one is built to tag along. Now, the SoundLink Plus is the bigger of the two, both in footprint and weight. It's almost twice as thick as the Flex, and it weighs around 3.4 pounds, which in my experience is a little on the heavier side when it comes to portable Bluetooth speakers. In fact, it's noticeably heavier than the Flex, which only weighs about 1.3 pounds. You'll still fit either one into a backpack, but you are definitely gonna notice the difference. Lastly, both include integrated carrying solutions. The Plus has a thick rope, feels nice and sturdy, and the Flex keeps its signature utility loop. Yeah, utility loop. So weight aside, portability really isn't an issue with either speaker. Let's talk controls. If you've used a Bose speaker before, you'll know what to expect. The buttons on both models are functional, but not exactly my favorite. Bose likes to use these nested buttons in their speakers, and they tend to just feel a little mushy to me. In low light, good luck finding the exact button you want without some trial and error, and I always find myself mashing them way too hard just to make sure the command is registered. Otherwise, the two share an identical control layout. Power, Bluetooth, multifunction, and then your playback controls. The multifunction button is assignable. You can choose between Spotify Tap or assign it to quickly pair a second Bose unit. It's also worth noting that the Flex still offers a built-in microphone, so if you want to access your phone's voice assistant or take a phone call, it can be done. When it comes to connectivity, the SoundLink Plus connects to your device via Bluetooth 5.4. SoundLink Flex is still using Bluetooth 5.3, but no big deal there on a day-to-day basis. Both speakers offer multi-point and support SBC and AAC codecs. But here's a nice perk if you're an Android user. Both also support the aptX adaptive codec and will automatically default to that codec if you're running a Snapdragon device. That technically means higher quality audio without jumping through hoops if your phone has that Snapdragon chip, but don't get too caught up in all that codec stuff. SBC or AAC is fine for most people. As I always like to say, these speakers are about enhancing the party vibes. They're not meant for critical listening. Now, neither speaker includes an aux input or USB-C audio, but the SoundLink Plus does give you the option to charge your phone in a pinch using its USB-C port. It's helpful if you're in a bind. It charges at 15 watts, but it's not something I'd rely on too heavily, especially if you're running your speaker at higher volumes. You're just gonna drain your battery that much faster. I recommend grabbing a portable battery bank if you're planning on being off-grid and need to keep your speaker charged up. I'm also a big fan of Bose's device memory feature, which allows you to cycle through any previously connected devices via the Bluetooth button for easy pairing. If your partner or your friend wants to use your speaker, maybe you want to hook it up to your Nintendo Switch or something, you can easily find that previously paired device. Now, when it comes to multi-speaker pairing, Bose has its party mode, meaning you can sync both of these speakers for a bigger mono setup, and even add in the SoundLink Max if you've got one kicking around. Of course, as usual, if you want to achieve proper stereo playback, you will need to pair an identical model. So Bose is slowly building out a small but flexible pairing ecosystem that's going to be easier to expand over time, especially if you're sticking with the newer generation of speakers. Don't forget, we've also got that 2nd Gen SoundLink Micro on the way as well. It's going to go right here. SoundLink Micro, Gen 2. Pretty soon. Let's go, Bose. Ship that stuff out. Now let's check in on the Bose companion app. Honestly, not much has changed between these two. It's still pretty bare bones. You get those same uninspired EQ options from Bose: bass boost, treble boost, bass reducer, treble reducer, and that's it. Of course, we can't forget that underwhelming 3-band custom EQ now, can we? It's functional, sure, but pretty limited if you like to fine-tune your sound. You'll always find more customization options in competing apps like JBL's or Soundcore's, but for casual users, this will probably be enough. Still, if Bose is charging $270 for this speaker, I'd like to see some more thorough EQ options. That said, you'll probably want the app anyway for things like firmware updates, enabling stereo pairing like I said, or switching between connected devices. So while it's not mandatory, it definitely has its perks here and there. Whoa, that's still from the water test. The water flying out there. Now it's all over. Great. Battery is another area where we see a noticeable difference. Bose claims 12 hours of playback for the SoundLink Flex at a moderate volume and 20 hours of playback for the SoundLink Plus. Now, I like to test a little louder than moderate volume. We run these things at a level of 80 dB measured from 1 meter away. This is a little closer to party volume and not just chilling and listening solo at home volume. In our testing, the Flex clocked out at 7 hours and 3 minutes at 80 dB. Not great, not terrible, still a good amount of listening time. The Plus, meanwhile, ran a full 20 hours and 55 minutes under those same testing conditions. That's one advantage of a larger enclosure, a bigger battery. So if you plan on using your speaker all day or over a weekend trip where you won't get a chance to charge it, the Plus has the clear edge. But for everyday use, shorter sessions, the Flex holds up just fine. So let's get into the difference in sound and output between these two speakers. I wish I could tell you the wattage of each of them, but we have no idea how many watts they're rated for. Bose won't disclose that info to you or even to reviewers like me. But if I had to guess, based on my experience with other speakers, I'd say the Flex is around 25-30 watts and the Plus is closer to 40-45 watts. Both speakers rock that familiar Bose sound signature. They emphasize bass and treble with slightly recessed mids, which means they can deliver good clarity for vocals and detail on the highs while still offering a bit of low-end thump that makes them enjoyable to listen across a wide variety of genres. Honestly, I think they sound great out of the box, which is great considering your limited EQ options. That said, neither of these speakers are going to rattle any windows, so it really just comes down to how much output you need. If you're mostly using your speaker for personal listening, around the house, maybe occasionally taking it to the beach or on a hike when it's just you and a few friends, the Flex is certainly up to the task. The SoundLink Plus is pretty much just a bigger version of the Flex. As I mentioned, it gets a little louder, it pumps out more low end, but at the cost of a way heavier and expensive package overall. It's better suited for medium-sized gatherings when there's closer to 8 to 10 people, or maybe you just need a bit of extra volume to drown out that chatty neighbor at the next campsite over. I honestly don't have much else to add, but I wish I did. Considering just how expensive the SoundLink Plus is, you're essentially forking over an extra $120 for a bit more output, a bit more bass, and better battery life. So, which Bose speaker is right for you? If you want something compact, budget-friendly, and easy to carry anywhere, the SoundLink Flex is a fantastic pick. It's durable, sounds great for its size, and still supports features like aptX Adaptive and has that built-in microphone. But if you want bigger sound, better battery life, and a speaker that can keep up with more demanding listening scenarios, the SoundLink Plus might be for you, especially in this fun summertime yellow color. So that being said, is it worth $270? I don't think so. I'm not sure how Bose can justify a $120 price increase for this speaker over the Flex. So, here's a third option. If you're considering forking over $270 for a single Plus unit, wait for Bose to have a sale. Then buy 2 SoundLink Flex units and run them in stereo. I'm dead serious. 2 Flex units will still have a smaller footprint and weigh less than the Plus, so you're not stuck with just a single heavy mono speaker. You can also place your 2 Flex units nice and far apart and get proper, enjoyable left to right separation with true stereo playback. That's my advice anyway. In the end, again, both are great sounding speakers. It just depends on your priorities and your budget. Of course, if neither of these Bose speakers hit the mark for you, I recommend checking out my video on the best overall Bluetooth speakers you can buy right now in 2025, which you can find right here. Happy listening.
Sad happening.